Hi everybody, welcome to our next video in the Word of the Day series. And the next word of the day is another word inspired by the little walk that I took yesterday, and the word is verdant. Verdant. Verdant is an adjective, so it's a describing word, and it means green and leafy, like a lush valley where sheep graze on the grass. Verdant. So I saw a whole bunch of different things on my walk yesterday that were really verdant. So I'm going to show you a load of those now. I'm going to show you a bunch of different photos that I took whilst I was on my walk, so you can see what a verdant place really looks like. Okay, so my next job is I'm going to ask you to pause the video and do something for me. So you will need a piece of paper. I've got a notebook here. I know that some of you took home your language skills books or your notebooks from school, and yeah, I would like you to pause the video and recreate. Let me show you this for me. So we are going to investigate this word. We're going to write some synonyms, words which mean the same thing, some antonyms, words which mean the opposite, some collocations, words which are often found alongside the word we're looking at. We are also going to write our own definition of the word. We're going to use it in a sentence, and we're also going to draw a picture. So we're going to do a really in-depth investigation of this word. So the first thing that I want to tell you about this word is, just going to stir my dinner. Okay. Pasta. There we go. Yes, the first thing I want to tell you about this word is this word has a history. And sometimes if you are learning a new word, it can be really helpful to have a bit of a story in your head. Now, the word verdant comes actually from Latin. Now, I don't know, some of the people in my class are going to be really familiar with some Latin words because it's something that I talk about quite a lot in my lessons. But if you're not familiar, the Latin language was a language of ancient Rome. So here is a picture of Italy, and I have marked on it Rome. Okay, so in ancient Rome, there were some people who were in charge. There were a whole bunch of them over hundreds of years, and they were called emperors, and they looked a little bit like this. And these emperors, they had a bit of a thing for invading different countries and taking over new lands. And they used the Roman soldiers, were called centurions, and they looked a little bit like this. So these Roman soldiers marched all the way up through Italy and into countries like Spain and France and even Great Britain later on, and they spread many things. So they spread how they built roads. They also spread things like aqueducts to carry water. And one of the major things that they left behind when they invaded these countries was parts of their language. Not always the whole language, but parts of their language. So that is why you will find that up to 60% of English actually comes from Latin originally. So just to prove it to you, I have got here the Latin word for green. So this word here, viridis, is the Latin word for green. Now, as the Roman soldiers marched all the way through those different countries in Europe, they dropped off and left behind some of their words, and some of them stayed around. So you can see that the Italian and Spanish word for green is verdi, and the French word is vert, which is obviously very, very similar to the Latin. So it actually does come from the Latin. And that is where we get the word verdant from. Because if you look very closely, you can see it does mean green and leafy. So our word of the day is verdant, which means green and leafy. And you can see that in this image here, Mrs. Wordsmith is in the rolling hills. It's a very rural location. So there are hills here. She's looking about at the wonderful green, lush scenery. So our word of the day is verdant. Now, what I'd like you to do is, the video ends here. I'm going to ask you to go back to this, which you set up earlier. You can rewatch the video as many times as you like, and you are going to fill in as much as you can in these different boxes. So remember, synonyms are words which mean the same thing. Antonyms are words which mean the opposite. Collocations are words which you would find alongside verdant. I'm going to give you some help with those ones right at the end of the video, okay? Here there's a space for you to write your own definition, to use the word in a sentence. So my sentence, for example, might be, Mrs. Wordsmith enjoyed the beautiful scenic countryside and the verdant landscape. So I've got my own sentence, and then at the bottom there's going to be space for me to draw a picture of a verdant location or a particularly verdant garden. Your garden might be quite verdant at this time of year with all the flowers and the grass coming out. So I said that I would give you a little bit of help with the synonyms and antonyms and collocations. So if you pause the video here, there you have a selection of different words. Some of them are synonyms and some of them are collocations. So if you rewind a little bit, pause the video, and you can talk about that with an adult or a brother or sister, or whoever it is that you're at home with, whether those words are synonyms, antonyms or collocations. If you are in my class, I would really like to see a picture of your work from today. This might take you a little bit longer than your vocabulary work from yesterday, so please take your time. You guys are brilliant at this actually, but please take real care with your handwriting and your presentation, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye!